somebody from the outside. They have other work to do on their roster. A big spend on a running back, which is what Saquon Barkley is going to command if he continues to have the year he's having, just doesn't seem like it's in the cards for a team that's in the position the Giants are in. So salute to Saquon Barkley. Go get your money, but it feels like the Giants are probably not the place that'll give it to him.
Well, I mean, that's a tough one to take right now, and the Giants have won 3 of their first 4 games, and this past weekend, Barkley looked like he might be their best option at quarterback, so I'm not...
Absolutely.
What? I mean...
I disagree with this. I disagree, and I appreciate Dan. He knows the Giants, but I disagree with this. Listen, Brian Daboll in Buffalo realized what it looks like when you don't have a run game, and it was ugly. And it was ugly for his quarterback, ugly for his offense. He struggled even calling plays. When you have a player as dynamic as Saquon Barkley, irrespective positions, he's shown you what he's capable of. And to your point, at every position he's playing, I mean, he's making insane plays. He's keeping this team. If you're going to bring in another quarterback or keep Daniel Jones, either way, that piece makes this offense go.
Yeah, committing to Saquon at this point, I understand what you're saying.
Yep.
I would love to commit to Saquon at this point. However, he's just coming off an injury, and he's a running back, and they get hit a lot. And
they do. Making
that much commitment to a guy who I don't know if he's going to be there is hard, and at a position that the point is he's having an incredible season. They're winning games, but does anybody think that the Giants are a real threat? And it's a hard thing to commit to right now.
This is a team that needs a lot.
Right.
And Saquon is having a Aaron Judge type, Lamar Jackson, bet on me type of season thus far. He is, every single week, his price keeps going up.
Yeah.
Somebody should pay that price. But I don't think you can ask a new GM who literally is tasked with fixing all of Dave Gettleman's mess and then a new head coach, and you're saying, hey, keep this guy at this exorbitant price. Like, Saquon deserves the money, but he should get it elsewhere.
And what is the money? So if you want to make the argument that no matter how good a running back is, you cannot justify drafting him number 2, which is where Dave Gettleman drafted him, then what exactly is the money? Do you know what I'm asking? Do you understand what I'm asking you?
I get you.
If someone's going to pay it, maybe they should pay it, but what is it?
Who was the last team to do this? I mean, the Panthers come up in mind. The Titans, they only locked him up for 2 years. Derrick Henry for 2 years. And the Titans haven't been like a huge success story. You look at the Panthers, it hasn't really worked out. So I think the
quarterback's kind of hurt him.
Right, I understand. So I guess the flexibility to me might be more valuable. If you have a roster that's like bereft of talent and you want to rebuild it, the flexibility might be more valuable than as great as Saquon is, a player like Saquon on your roster. And a team who has the space and is making a run, I think adding a valuable piece like
Remember
Saquon
when the Jets
could be worth.
gave Le'Veon a 4-year?
Yes, I remember that.
They won back-to-back Super Bowls.
And then their coach Adam Gase decided he was going to make a point that he didn't want him in the first place, that he barely used him.
Yep.
Let me ask you, thank you for bringing that up, by the way, the delightful memory. All kidding aside, the Giants may not have their starter or their backup quarterback this weekend. Their options are people like Davis Webb and Jake Fromm, with all due respect to them. Could an NFL team actually try to win a game playing the entire game in Wildcat with Saquon Barkley running it? To do it once, could they do it one time?
They could try it. Absolutely not.
Could not work.
Absolutely not.
That's not their best option.
If you
11 on 11
no
football.
Chance. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, is it possible? Yes, because the way defenses played pocket passers, with as many dynamic playmakers there are at quarterback right now, every defense has packages in to stop that guy from running.
Yeah.
That will be an ugly experiment. You will have 10 dudes on the line of scrimmage, one dude in the back just cherry picking. It will get ugly quick.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna run punt rush. We're gonna run punt rush every time until you show me that Saquon can complete some passes. But they might make a couple plays here, some misdirection, wishbone action. Go for it.
Yeah.
No.
Saquon could throw the ball. He could throw it.
Listen, he's there.
If Saquon can, maybe he gets a big contract in New York. I really like what we're talking about.
I'm not convinced that isn't their best option on Sunday morning in London against Green Bay. We'll see what they wind up doing. Meanwhile, we're at the quarter pole of the season. So let's run through some superlatives from the first fourth of the season. Jeff, what's the best team in the NFL?
Oh, Philadelphia Eagles. And listen, this is because they can beat you in a number of different ways, whether it's Miles Sanders like last week, whether it's Jalen Hurts from the pocket against the Commanders, whether it was the dynamics of Jalen Hurts in week 2 against the Vikings. This guy can beat a number of ways. Then you flip it over to their defense. They're super strong at the D-line and the defensive backfield. They stripped Trevor Lawrence 5 times, some kind of crazy number. This team is complete, and they're playing the best in the league.
Kmart, the flip side. What's the biggest disappointment in the NFL?
Oh my gosh, to me it's the Raiders. Because you could say the Colts, right? But we actually had high expectations for the Raiders. You literally got the best receiver in the game to team up with his best friend. And you're like, oh, the chemistry. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. The Super Show in Vegas. And it's been such a disappointment. And it's sad because this team has too much talent, especially with Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, too much talent to be that bad.
Neek, who's the MVP of the league right now?
There he is, Micah Parsons. What we expected from the Cowboys was not a very successful or impressive season. What we're getting is one of the NFC contenders, and the reason why is because the pressure that defensive line is creating. Defensive line is creating pressure because they have a lot of good players, but in large part because they have one very, very unique special player that is changing the way that offenses have to approach them and is buying them time. As much as we want to celebrate Cooper Rush, the impact and the reason why this team is having success is because of their defense, and by far the best player in that defense is Micah Parsons.
He's been good. How about you, Jeff? Who's your MVP at this point?
Good.
He's been good.
Josh Allen, and it's not close. Listen, this guy has more offensive production than 15 NFL teams. That's insane. He's their leading rusher. He's their leading passer. He's got 12, and he's leading the league. This guy throws darts. When big games and big moments, he pulls it down, runs with his legs. Whatever you ask of this guy, he's the best player in the NFL right now. And I get everybody falls in love with different quarterbacks. This guy does it in big moments. I love what he's doing. He's the MVP.
Kmart, who's the MVP?
Yeah, I'm still going to say Lamar because of what is asked of him. I think John Harbaugh deciding to go for it because he has an MVP player in Lamar Jackson. I think that was proof. I think this defense, this Ravens defense, another disappointment. You literally need Lamar. He accounts for almost 90% of their offensive yards. Like, it's insane.
I think you've all overlooked the obvious. There is a team in the National Football League that when after the week 1 of the season, every person I have on this set buried. Damian Woody put his thumb down. Their season is done. Rex Ryan said they're dead. Marcus Spears, the former Cowboy, said they're dead. And then Cooper Rush resurrected them. Cooper Rush has single-handedly kept alive the season. He's the backup quarterback of whom nothing was expected. He looks like a phys ed teacher at a high school, and he goes running out there, and he's 3-0, and he actually has the highest QBR of any quarterback in the sport when pressured this season. You guys are out of your mind. Why is everyone laughing?
Cooper Rush doesn't even think he's the MVP.
Yeah, Cooper Rush is literally watching this like, Greenie, stop. Like,
you make it hot.
They'll give you a box in Dallas. That's what I do know. Cooper Rush, all of Jared, they're all bringing you down, bro. You are unbelievable.
Most surprising.
So you expected the backup quarterback to come in there, the offense to look better and win 3 straight games.
You know what? I didn't expect their offensive line to play as well as they did. Their 2 running backs to take over their defense to completely shut people down. They've scored. The highest score is 25 points.
I think they took him. I think he was on the developmental. What's the word? The practice squad. Like the week before. They're paying him like $85 a week to play, and he's winning games every single week. He's a bargain, for crying out loud. All right, where are we going next? I can't believe. Oh, we're talking about that.